All right, everyone, we're recording a promo for Pro Teaches Noobs.
Oh, what's a noob? Hey, you know who else is a noob? My mom!
All right, everyone, just forget it, okay?
Hey guys, welcome to another lesson of Pro Teacher Noob. Today I have with me, Pika.
Hey!
And today we're doing another take two as we're going back over Forever Evil Arkham War, which was basically what, and if those of you don't recall, it's the story where a lot of the Batman villains decide to take over Gotham while Batman is gone and the rest, while evil has won. And I gotta say, I truly felt evil won during this event than I did during Final Crisis.
Final
Didn't
Crisis
you?
was something. Yeah, because Final Crisis was also more kind of condensed because of how the time was going back and forth and being compressed with what the dark side was doing. This was more properly in real time that you could follow up better.
Exactly. Not only that though, but just the way that the villains actually had a chance to take over. They didn't really before, but yeah, here's the first prelude. Both this and the other prelude are done by Peter Tomasi, as we set up. In this case, Bane, as he is on Santa Prisca. And look at that!
Yeah.
First of all, I gotta say, this is a better redesign than what we had for New 52 Bane, which was basically the Arkham look.
Yeah, it still has some parts of it, or maybe some, okay, maybe not Arkham looks, but some Tom Hardy-isms.
But wait, this is, hold on, let me double check that, hold on. Forever.
If I recall correctly, this was something like in 2013.
2013, and
it was year after Dark Knight Rises.
You sure? Jeez, my computer is getting all sluggish. I hate when that happens. Yeah, okay, I'll take your word for it. But yeah, it probably is a lot of Tom Hardiness to it. But yeah, like I love it. Like, Paquita, you invite your daughter here in hopes that I will spare you, Rivera. Por favor, Bane, grant my daughter's wish. I am all she has. No, you misunderstand, Senor Bane. I came to watch.
Ugh.
I hated him. He beat me and my mother all the time. The other children run from this place. They know it is your home. They know you are the man who freed this country. We learned in school, but they fear you too. Their father and brothers and uncles work for you, and so many of them do not return. But I have seen what fathers and brothers and uncles can do to children, Senor Bane. And that is why you are our greatest hero. Touch me again and you will die. Don't! Do you think that's what Bane would do?
Depends.
I think he would be doing that just to make it be like I'm no one's hero. Like,
yeah, that's what I was thinking about. That like he doesn't want to get too soft, even to children. That if he has a reputation, it's better that to uphold it.
Because no, he just pushes her.
Yeah.
I just think he just pushes her like, touch me and you will die. It's like,
yeah, because he's looking at like his right hand there on the middle panel, and then he's turned around and using his left hand.
Yeah, but like, move it, kid, move it, brat.
Yeah.
But yep, as he's making his way, we get a summary of his history and everything, showing that's still canon. And then, oh yeah, but then meanwhile, back in Blackgate, they're already getting a things are going crazy out there. The world is ours. But hiya, Warden, Bane called ahead. So yep, they're ready as yep sees the flower that girl had given. As yep, and Gotham City is mine. Meanwhile, we get Scarecrow building him up as he's working with Freeze and meeting up with the likes of some of the others, including Penguin and Croc and Ivy. So many of them are getting ready, and yeah, Gotham City is mine. And look, it's been split across different fightdoms.
Yeah, Ventriloquist has that place. Two-Face or Scarecrow has no. Is that?
Yeah, that's
okay.
Scarecrow.
That's Ivy's, and that's Mr. Freeze's.
Yep.
And those
I
are
think
the Penguins.
I think that's supposed to represent that Batman still hasn't left yet. Even though he is gone, there's still, no, that's the Man-Bats.
Yeah.
But here is the proper event. Now, what is your thoughts on Forever Evil?
It was one of those story ideas and events that worked well-ish enough. Also, in bringing with the modern reinvention of Crime Syndicate, and also with the reminding us and actually practically also reinforcing that Owlman being the Thomas Wayne Jr. and not another version of Bruce Wayne.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Here's what we know. Bane arrived at night. Though these days, that's all there is. While the majority of his men were making landfall, he took a small team and approached Blackgate prison underwater, through its sewers. Normally, the sewer grading mechanism is electrified, but that's not the case anymore, since the city barely has any power to speak of. He and his men knew every inch of Blackgate. This has obviously been in the planning for a while. And as you know, Commissioner, just hours earlier, we received reports that there was a massive breakout at the prison. And the party was in full swing when Bane arrived. Look at all that. I love Ethan's artwork.
Oh.
And that's everything, Commissioner Gordon. And we only got that because the Riddler talked up a storm that two Gotham electric workers escaping his quadrant. No word from Blackgate interim warden for hours. If I know this town, there probably won't be any, Detective Pierce. What is it about this damn city? When I made detective last year, you told me the key to getting by here was to stop being shocked, expect anything and everything. Yeah, well, what the hell do I know, Detective? Someone moved the damn moon over the sun. The Justice League is dead. The lights are out. Gotham's been split between a dozen homicidal Arkham escapees, and our secret weapon is gone, probably for good. I don't know what Bane wants or why he came all the way back from Santa Prisca, but I think it's okay to be shocked now. Help me, need stop that! Need to get out of the hospital. Stop that patient! And doctor, it's crazy, please. I'm no doctor. I'm Professor Pig. Now then, Maestro, you came in with a broken left hand. Now, good for a word, not good for a word-class violinist, not good at all. But we all know that pain is just the beginning of perfection. How am I handling a pig? I'm trying to go for the Arkham Knight version.
Yeah, I was trying to compare it that probably well, but a little too restrained.
Yep, I love music. It heals us all, as you know. And I'm aware you have a big concert next month with the Gotham Philharmonic. I don't mean to brag, but I do have front row orchestra seats. And so, time being short, tell me, how'd I do? Ah! He put his foot on his hand.
Yeah, for some reason, I recognize this is horrible. But while you were reading the book's monologue, I was looking at this and I was remembered, this was in Dr. Nick's one of patients who had an arm for a leg and leg for an arm.
All right. Doctor. Mr. McGregor with a leg for an arm and an arm for a leg.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Good. Good God, Pig. You've only been in charge of this district for a couple of days. What have you done to the place? Anxious to scare the children of Gotham with your fear fart, Scarecrow? I'm here as a courtesy, you pig-faced undergraduate. Our good time might be short-lived. Yes, the coming of Bane. I've heard all about your trip around new and improved Gotham. With all of us in Arkham split up the city and split up the city after Batman's demise, some of us guess you find some way to scare us all into following some straw-brained scheme that would leave you in power. We all agreed to an even split, Crane, and live with it. And if you have a problem, take it up with the Penguin. And believe me, Pig, I'll stop by our mayor's office next. But time is running short. Bane is here and has already taken over Blackgate. It's very possible that war will envelop us at any minute, and we will need supplies from this hospital and others, as well as any manpower your Dolatrons can give. Bane wants Gotham badly for some reason. It is time to give back to the city that has given you and me so much. War means body bags, and it means more ghastly injuries that even you'll know what to do with. It's a new world, Pig. We are finally through the looking glass, and the old oaths, Hippocratic and whatnot, are out the window. Do some harm. Oh! And so, any other fools left to challenge my authority? Good. Bring me the warden and her lackeys. I need to know this prison's secrets. You are Warden Agathar Zorbatos, interim warden, and I know exactly who you are, Bane. And I know you need to let my men go and deal with me. I do not deal with slave masters. Which of you wants to be free? Well, and Haskins got some kids, so maybe Haskell. Would you like to also be free? Also, show me all your secrets. I don't know what it is exactly, but I know it's more dangerous than any weapon in our armory. No one on the day or night shift knows what's in there. The room is served by a separate crew, supposedly something to do with the owl stuff from a few months back. It is as the society promised. Talons, the perfect weapons to take a city from the pillagers who stole it from me, combined with my 2,000 men waiting off the coast. The reign of Gotham's lunatic will be crushed and short-lived. As your new mayor, I'm insisting that you stop scaring every last one of your brethren, Scarecrow. Keeping these madmen in line is hard enough without you stirring the pot. Your walkabouts make them and me nervous. They're going to light the whole city on fire, defeating our purpose. Good. Bane is something to fear, Penguin, and we both know his plans are real. Without the bat to stop him, Bane will do whatever is necessary to control all of Gotham. Then you should all do your jobs and stop him. All of you wanted a piece of Gotham, and I gave it to you. The society made it possible, but I gave it to you. A city is no place for the weak, Crane. Let weakness get a foothold, and it grows like a cancer through the street. My ancestor, Nathan Cobblepot, protected Gotham during the Civil War. Men like him, with less at his disposal than any of you, didn't shriek like kittens at the thought of fighting for a city. That's a noble and theory, Cobblepot, but escape is part of an Arkhamite's nature. Then you all are every bit as mad as they say. Halloween-seed morons with only yourself to blame. Time and again, and you all have had empires in your grasp, only to let them slip through your fingers. I have planned ahead, and I know what is necessary for your crew of young civic leaders. I've read the books, and I'm not insane enough to ignore history. Cities and their leaders, my frightful friend, are overgrown children. They need constant care and supervision, but sometimes you have to cut the cord. Screamy, it's such a cleansing exercise. Rid the bodies, not only of toxin, but of that debilitating cancer I call stress. I do believe people should scream more, don't you agree? You and your deranged, disfigured kind no longer work for Scarecrow. What Arkham and its mad idiots thought is controlled is now mine. You will help me spread the word, pig. There is no power left but me. There is no authority left but me. There is no hope left but me. There is no Batman. There is no Justice League. There is only Bane. So what do you think of this?
Yeah, it's kind of different when you look at how covertly Bane was moving through in Nightfall, and now he's basically walking around everything as if he belonged there and just showing up. Or that's actually so far the impression that's
basically it feels like Nightfall Bane again.
Oh.
Just a sec, I forgot something. Just a sec.
Okay. Remember to cut this out. What's going on with that mouse? Something's going on with your mouse.
What?
Something's
no. It got scrolled down. Yep. So, I forgot. This is around the point when Relic was around.
Yeah.
We'll get to that eventually.
When it comes to Green Lantern lore, yeah.
Yep. Got the message for the Man-Bat. Tell him to be scared of Brute. Bane soldiers have torn right through our section's defenses in Langstorm. I know. I sent messages to the other Arkhamites, but they have their own incursions to deal with. Two-Face informed me that Bane brought an entire Venomized army into Gotham. With him, merged them with the released Blackgate prisoners. Bane's making a play for Gotham and doesn't care that the city belongs to Arkham now. You've only transformed a few dozen of us, sir. More than enough to keep a few blocks of humans under control, but not enough to take on an army. I know, Munchin. I'm just a scientist trying to create a government, and yet I'm still managed to give you people weapons, authority, and the power to transform into a giant flying bat. The least you can do is show a little face and stop whining for 5 minutes. And keep shredding Bane said Arkham crazies would fall easily. What? Oh boy, looks like the Flying Mouse Brigade's awake. Like I say, this is an interesting story. I wish we would see more like this.
Yeah, but basically it's a story within a story. So it would be this set those quotes implication to be told this way.
But although I would say I'm not a fan of a fully villainous Langstorm, though.
That's kind of a too much of a going to in one way than the other.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all.
Yeah, basically something similar to most people talk about what New 52 did with Mr. Freeze, and no one talks about what it did to Man-Bat.
Which would make them straight on villain. If any of you are alive enough to crawl back to Blackgate, give Bane the message that science is always at war against ignorance. I'll give him props though for being smart.
Yeah, he was always still smart.
Right,
but reacted to body horror of his transformation that mostly made his.
I have a feeling they were trying to combine what was done with the Man-Bats in Batman Incorporated.
Yeah,
that's what I think they were doing.
Yeah, probably. I'm still going to always go myself. It goes to the whole what Neil Adams and Denny O'Neil did in the 70s.
Exactly.
Yeah, because those stories were in those 2 books I showcased when we were doing for your 500s.
Yep. But I will say this though. I do feel like this is a perfect combination of Nightfall and No Man's Land. Would you agree with that?
More or less.
That's what it is. You have Bane. What if Bane decided to be the one to counter No Man's Land as opposed to working for Lex?
Yeah, take 2 in that sense. And I just realized, this is what Gotham's last season also probably took its inspirations from.
Yep. Word of advice, Pierce, when the world's ending, put the bitching on pause. But Commissioner, I don't know if this stuff's any good. Power's been out for days. First of all, don't call me Commissioner anymore out here. It's Jim or Gordon. I don't need some maniac hearing my title and deciding to make a name for themselves. Second, this might be the closest we get to anything resembling food. And for a while, Detective. So dig in and fan up because we have work to do. I've lived through the end of the world a lot in this town. The Green taking over, earthquakes, plagues. Bullock and I, you would call it Apocalypse Wednesday because it seemed to be a weekly occurrence. Hell, it never seems to end around here. But in my experience, no matter how these freaks try to convince us otherwise, the sun always rises eventually. I know it doesn't seem like it sometimes with the battle around, but people here count on us, especially in times like this. You're right, Garden, but by my count earlier tonight, you, me, and the uniform got 47 people of the better ground. I know we're doing the right thing, but it seems like we're just barely hanging on. We'll never let go, Pierce. On to our last breath. Now let's get to and why I wanted you to come on with me alone on this. Word is Bane's taking over Arkham and Blackgate. We haven't heard from Interim Warden Agatha Zarbados in over 24 hours. Any word if she and her crew over there are alive or dead? No, but she's a real hard ass, so I'm assuming alive until I hear otherwise, which means I want her and her people out of there somehow. Look at the floor plan here and memorize as much as you can. Because we're going to do something really stupid tonight. Sorry to hear about your men, especially Brute. My lads picked up his scared body in Nightstorm's Man-Bat sector. He shouldn't have gone there, but leaving the fallen to rot on the street is no way to run a city. I've had crews patrolling every sector and pulling them out as more bodies seem to pile up every day. Yes, so I see. Walk with me, Piglet. I am so sure Scarecrow has been deceived. He has, and as always, Crane mules on and on about the world as if he's mastered it. Though it's clear he's barely keeping it together. He traffics in artificial fear, but he's often the most terrified of all. You are critical of him, but you will play both sides. That is your nature. That's good business. I have no stake other than surviving. Self-interest is the purest motivation. I trust it and depend on it. Cities are governed by self-interest. I know of your family's history here in this town, Cobblepot. I know how deeply you must feel about her bricks, her mortar, her steel. You are not like the carpet-bagging freaks of Gotham City who have tried to win her without sacrifice and have failed in the bast shoulders. Like you, I understand what it is to toil and know what it feels like on a man's hand. I know the feeling of helplessness on a person's skin. These streets are now linked with men and women who worked to build this city and died in her services. And that is, in its own way, right and proper. It is an unavoidable cost of progress. Deaths of simple nature, death is simply nature's way of knocking down an old building to make way for a new one. I've come to almost completely unprotected, Bane, because I know that, for now, we need each other. You straddle many worlds, Paisley, whereas I am firmly rooted in one. You are mistrusted by those of Arkham and Blackgate alike. Well, yes, it's a gift. There's no shame in playing the angles. There is chaos, and there is order, structure, and anarchy. This push and pull is what has torn Gotham City for decades. long before you and I, long before Batman, whatever else the society has had in mind, it's time to cut out the schizophrenic tumor that runs through the city. I will supply Gotham with what it truly needs, an iron will direction. And you, Cobblepot, will supply me with something very important. When the Arkhamites turn to you for protection, information and opportunity is your work, and duplicity will be your calloused hand. Well, I appreciate the vote of indifference, Bane. There's something I'll want, something you can provide right from your comfy chair on high. His name is Ignatius Ogilvy, and he was my right hand at one point. He took the name Emperor Penguin and tried to usurp my power. I owe him for many things, and he owes me for giving him a life that he wasted. He is among your men, and I want him. If he is not yet dead, I will see to it. A nice gesture. Now let me also pay service to our newfound understanding and tell you of a subterfuge going on right under your mask. What are you talking about? I'm talking about a plan being undertaken right this very moment at Blackgate. Your lecture to me about the city has only served to make it more likely to succeed. Speak or die, Cobblepot. Put me down. Better. Word is that you've been depending on those artificially frozen talents as your trump card. The talents are why I had made landing at Blackgate. Naturally, they're supremely powered and basically zombies, the perfect tool to overtake a city full of supervillainous psychotics. Plus, their secret room under the prison reportedly holds the only working power source on the eastern seaboard. It's everything you could want, and it's all being taken from you right now. It was Scarecrow's big idea for the Arkhamites to hit fast and hit early. You being gone will be a surprise to them. A welcome one, I'm sure. I will define the surprise quite differently.
Go protect your prize, partner. Penguin! What the hell? Sorry to barge in, Gordon, but I can't help myself. I was wondering, how would you and the lady cop here like the perfect opportunity to rescue your fellow civil servants from the least likely of civil places in all of Gotham at the moment? What do you think about that with Penguin? I love Penguin here. This is Penguin at his best.
Hey, considering if he knew that they were hiding there all the time.
But he's also like, he knows if Bane finds out, he's dead. But he perfectly plays the ice.
Yeah, and more or less with the rules of the Old West that Gotham is going right now, they are going to owe him now.
Yep, but again, this is what I prefer Penguin. And like I say, him and Bane getting along makes sense. Because they are the two sane Batman villains. These are the ones that would be put in the Blackgate, not Arkham.
Yeah.
People forget that. I think because animated series made it seem like he would be in Arkham when he never would. Penguin is the type
he was in the one episode that I recall where he was caught, and it was the one with Breland where he was asked to be their guest at the party. He was in Blackgate.
Oh, he was?
I thought Stonegate, as it was called in that series.
Okay, I thought it was Arkham he was put into.
Oh.
But still, the fact that some people mistakenly put him in Arkham when it's like, why? He's not insane. He doesn't think he's a penguin.
Hey.
Like, there she is. Agatha, we've got about 90 seconds to get you out of here. Jim? My crew, the guards, they killed them all, dragged my assistant away. Sorry, we can't stay. You can't imagine how bad it's gotten out there. I hate to leave anyone behind, Agatha, but if you want to live to see tomorrow, we have to go now. Oh, someone find out if Scarecrow is done so we can end this. This went smoother than expected. However, Mr. Freeze's instruction requires you feeble-minded nits to move much quicker. The talents can't sustain suspended animation without a power source for long. We have 13 minutes to fly these pods from here to Freeze's laboratory. How fast can bats fly anyway, Legstrom? It's a straight line from here, Scarecrow. We know the way. There are 2 pods for each and bats for each pod. I will carry mine alone. Hurry! The battle inside's growing louder, and Penguin can only keep the big man busy for so. Scarecrow!
I am out of mercy. To the sky, now! Langstrom, help! No time, Crane! The Talons take priority! You are going nowhere, Langstrom. This Talon is mine. I'll be back for you two in a moment. I promise as soon as we get a squad together, we can come back for your men, wherever they are.
Oh, where the hell did you find this thing? It's one of the last working pieces of machinery in the city. Without all the damn computer nonsense, I was able to jury-rig the engine last week. Don't know how much she has left, but she damn well runs. How would I lose track of Donald, for God's sake?
You need medical attention, Agatha.
We'll find and figure out another way back in tomorrow.
And we want the same thing for the moment. I too can play the angles. I don't like the sound of that.
They say tomorrow's another day, boss. It doesn't mean it's going to be a good one.
Again, I like how this is jumping around in a good way.
What do you think?
More or less.
Basically, Bane is the hero of the story.
Yeah.
And when you think about it, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
He was never an Arkhamite. Never one of them.
Never a regular of Gotham. And here he's finally getting this chance to get what he wants.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Looks like Croc saved Scarecrow.
Oh.
I trust the above. The above.
You and me both,
Croc. You and me both.
So yeah, they're basically ready to work together. And look, the clawed hand.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's from that was a thing since the Asylum game from 2009.
Yep. But I'm gonna start breathing through this a bit more.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So yeah, turns out Clayface had jumped onto one of the guys.
Huh.
But of course, I took one of Freeze's guns. Oh. Emperor Penguin, my lost love, you've grown so well, but you've also picked the wrong side. You should have stuck with me. Shh, men like you have seen better than... Oh, and... Yep, you have your bounty, Penguin. Our arrangement continues.
Indeed, it does, Bane. You may be a born killer, but you do keep a promise. I owe Ugly here a lot for what he's done to me over the past year. But you and me, my veiny friend, are square. The society that has taken over the world has little interest in our city, it seems. They're happy to look on as we rip and tear each other asunder. But we too are much smarter than that. Again with the theater. Do not assume I am as mentally deficient as your usual confidants. Yes, of course. Where are my talents? What I know is that Scarecrow has escaped and is being treated by our green scale friend in the sewer. Within hours, he'll be returned to his home at Wayne Tower over there. And he doesn't seem very scared of you. In fact, and since last we spoke yesterday, I met with some of Arkham's finest, and the same word has pressed their lips. Bane is no Batman. Oh boy! And what does Bane decide?
Yeah.
Batman lives! What do you think of this?
A little more, somewhat. I wonder if this is him overreactingly or doing or something over the top response.
And sure enough,
Batman! Come, Croc, let us embrace. Oh, look at that fight. And what does he do? Just like what he did to Batman. Although we do know Croc could survive that.
Yeah.
We know he could.
Yeah, Croc could survive that.
Someone, had passed away. Oh, and look, it's William Cobb.
Huh.
So wake the hell up.
Basically starts to bring in all the talent to work with them.
Yeah.
And look, he has his Robin, in other words.
Yeah.
But what do you think about Bane being technically the hero here?
Yeah, Bane has to have that potential depending on the circumstances, and he was attempting to did his best as a good guy when he was in Secret Six.
Exactly. So this does feel like it, even though again he's not doing this for good reasons. Oh, there's Oz when he had a beard.
Yeah, then so maybe when they were trying to somewhat copy Tim Booth. Actually, no, Tim Booth was in 2005.
Right. But yeah, just Bane is now really taking over big time. And the fact that people still think that is Batman because of how he's designed himself. You will go to Bane Tower instead of Wayne Tower. Because obviously he does know.
Yeah.
Oh, and now they brought forth the other talons. Come on. I hate when it freezes. Hold on, it froze. Hate when that happens. Oh, there we go. Or not. Hold on.
Remember to cut this out when you edit this.
If I do it quick, I don't usually have to cut it out. If I do it quick enough.
Okay.
But so we were up to issue 5. We're almost done.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, again, what do you think of this event?
It's like a story within a story.
Yeah.
Like story is this, and it's happening somewhere in the middle.
Parallel, yeah. But I say, it feels like a nice story that should have been told long ago. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
What do you think about Scott Eaton's artwork? I say it's really good for this.
Works for it. Yeah, works for the story.
Yep. I know, and because this battle was well worth waiting for. Oh, again, the fact that Bane is the one saving the day, and look at Scarecrow, actually looking like he is the top dog. Poor pig. But yep. But then what did he do? He puts fear on everyone. Oh no, it's Venom. He gave them all Venom. Oh, World War Gotham. So yep. Oh, look at them all roided out. And they call us crazy. Again, this is just an interesting idea of what would the Batman villains do without Batman around.
Yeah, makes me wonder when this was happening. If this goes parallel to how it was going with Forever Evil, at this point. Batman is either at Star Labs or on his way to where the crash site of the Watchtower.
Either way, yeah. Well, either way, Batman is still off the board. He won't appear until the next issue. Of course, Penguin is then revealing himself and all that. But basically, he's won. He has won. Gotham and Bane has finally won. It goes by pretty quick.
Well, it's not a spectacle that has an audience in store. Okay. If you discount the reader base watching or reading it, and look at it from the in-universe perspective, it's not supposed to be a spectacle that's prolonged for too long. It's supposed to be a fight that is dealt with quickly. Exactly.
But we still have one more issue left. I just want like Gotham City. Finally, you are mine. But again, the fact is, he brought stability and order to
Yeah, and there was also the Tom Hardy's jacket.
Yep. But yep, Bruce has finally returned. And look, Ace, or not Ace, was it?
Titus.
Titus. So yep, everyone is there. And again, he's brought actual stability to it. Oh, but he'll still break some people if they try to, cross the line. The power.
It's
your power. It's back. You're welcome. Oh, Mr. Bane, please, you have to help. Go. Inform the talent of the meet. A signal must be sent tonight that anyone entering Gotham must go through us. Now, little one, what is it you want? My mommy fell over. She needs medicine, but we ran out during the blackout. Please, Mr. Bane, I don't want my mommy to be hurt. I know you could help her. Gather your wits and bury her, boy. Never seek help again, otherwise the wolves of this world will seek you out. He killed the mom! I mean, that is his way of thinking.
Oh.
Uh-oh. He's back! Going through and stopping everyone.
Oh.
I love how bad it's like this. It's just, the big return. Oh boy, and Bane is just shooting himself up with Venom. You! I don't know what the hell you've done to my city or how the crime syndicate helped you, but we finished them, and now I'm going to finish you. You and your kind disappeared when Arkham and Blackgate's doors were thrown wide, and the residents descended on the people like vultures to prey. Scarecrow, Croc, Clayface, your entire hall of broken mirrors took Gotham as their whore. Only I was here to protect them. I saved this city. You have a warped sense of protection, Bane. I am Gotham's king, and tonight you will kneel before me and thank me. The only gratitude you're going to hear is the sound of Gotham cheering after I put you down. Like, I always depended on toys, while you depend on Venom and your own crazy. And what you don't understand, Batman, is I have never feared the climb or the fall. I am still standing, Batman, and I will burn in hell before I ever fear you. I am hell. Get up, as you wish. Rah! Like, oh, and he's down for the count.
Oh.
And look at him. Look at how much they had to chain him up.
And
that's the end. I gotta say, though, it does feel little. I don't care.
Wait,
that's it.
Go back a few pages. Okay, well, not that much.
Up to here.
One more. No. Okay, forward. I was wondering, this was still before Scott Snyder had done the whole.
Oh yeah.
Batman Eternal, and this was still Arkham Asylum and not Arkham Manor.
Yes. But I gotta say though, I am not happy that Batman didn't even approach Bane to set, because he did bring stability. It's a cruel one, but I think typically Batman, would say like, he would at least say he appreciates the gesture, but not his message.
Yeah, maybe it's the status quo being that
I just didn't like that. I was just like, you're going down. It's like, but Bats, he did bring some stability. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That is the one thing I do not like about this. It's just way too.
Yeah, you could say that Gotham was fractured. Bane unified it again, and
granted, it wasn't a good unification, but it was better than what it was.
Yeah.
At the very least, Batman would have offered him like step down, and even at least acknowledge you did. Like, yes, you helped the city.
Yeah. Could this be another case where you could maybe edit the dialogue so that they have a conversation before Bane charges at him?
Yeah, you could have done that. Remove a fight thing or whatever. But yeah, the fact he just like, we just brought them down, you're going down next.
Yeah, but if you change the dialogue with Batman saying those things, and then have Bane immediately respond like this, maybe because of Venom. So you could maybe rewrite it so be that bad time and place that Bane is not, when he is roided up with Venom, that he is not thinking straight.
Which we know that's true.
Yeah, so like Batman could have been approaching like diplomatically, and Bane responded badly.
Like, I know what you really are here for. You want to take it from me. Rah!
Yep, that's exactly.
As opposed to like, everybody's like, now, like, we let us. It's like, yeah, basically. But of course, Batman doing all of this as well makes it very clear that all Batman cares about is taking the city back. Now, granted, this proves Bane is not a good leader at all. Killing the boy's mom.
Yeah, euthanization is kind of.
I get the lesson he's going for, but it's a horrible lesson. But like I said, I think the problem with the story is that because it's not a main event, it's too simple. I think the last issue and this issue were not
too much thought put into it. It's kind of like a whole thing. Like I have this. Like I said before we started recording. Like I have this a few minutes long disclaimer in front of my Batman vs Robin video where I talk about how those animated movies were pretty much done on a conveyor belt with from different drafts that were just taken and maybe not even given enough rewrites to make them better, simple enough. So it's kind of similar thing that I'm looking at this from.
Definitely, but again, overall, I thought this was a fun story. A fun story that should have been a bigger story, if you ask me. This feels like something that should not have just been reserved for a side piece of Forever Evil. This feels like this is something that should have been a big Bat event.
Looking at how Bane actually brought stability in this way, and then Tom King went to do City of Bane after some years later.
Yeah, completely similar but different.
Yeah.
Also, too bad we didn't see Bane in the Bat outfit. That would have been awesome.
Oh, yeah, that's another one of those cover lies.
Yeah, but again, overall, like I'm not a fan of Bane needing the Venom like this.
No,
I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah, it's maybe it could be forgettable because it's still the New 52 where everything was consented. While it was in the aftermath of Night's End where that we went over, where he pretty much got himself off it.
Yep.
And built himself back up.
But it wasn't until towards the end of Secret 6 where they kind of railroaded him being back on the Venom again. But even then, that wasn't something that Gale wanted to do. And then New 52 just threw that all out the window. It's like this brought him back to prominence, but then realized, we gotta still bring back the status quo. Yeah. So this is one of the better Bane stories. I will say that. This is definitely one of the better Bane stories.
Yeah.
Which you agree with that? You do agree with that? That this is one of the better ones?
It's a good showcase of the potential Bane has as making himself grow as a leader. Venom is a flaw that Bane has. It's something that he has been able to get over, but it keeps
breaking because he's so tied to it. Some writers just have to let him still use it when it's like, no, he shouldn't have to.
Oh.
But like I said, and we saw he barely used it throughout the story, but now we're seeing him just hopped up on it. And then, just you. But like I said, Batman is just, again, too broody.
Well, this was still from the time when Damian was dead.
That is true. But so overall, I give this like a 7 out of 10. It's fun, but not perfect.
No, that sounds fair. That's a fair grade.
Low 7, like 7.1.
Yeah.
Or just a regular 7. Would you agree with that? Like, this is a low 7.
Yeah.
The artwork was good. Artwork was damn good. Yeah,
like
artwork,
average or slightly above average.
yeah, but yeah, artwork is
Damn good though.
all right. So that's all we've got on this one. Thank you for joining me, Pika. Thanks everyone else. See you guys on the next one. Take care.
Med your heart, you're going to keep.